taken. Also one of the situations that happened in LA recently was the PNB Rock situation. What did you think when that started to unfold and everything?
I'm just like, damn, I didn't understand what made him even go there. I kept trying to figure out, like, why would he even be there? Like, why? Like, I'm from LA. I've been there probably like 2 times, literally. Like, and never even sat down in that place to eat. Just like ordered the food, picked it up, probably sent my girl in there to get it. So yeah, I'm like, why would a rapper go there with all this jewelry on the east side of LA? In a bad area, like on the east side of LA. So yeah, I couldn't even understand why he went over there. Then I just, I'm like, damn, he was on some Gilligan, cause that's wild, bro, for you to go over there with, even if you go over there with a $10,000 chain on, and you a rapper, it's not like you a regular person. Everybody know who you is more than likely as well. So they really believe this jury is real. Y'all telling them it's $500,000. So why would you go over there and sit in Roscoe's? Like, why? What would make you do that? Were you on narcotics, that early? Like, was you on a pill? Like, what made you do this? Or was you just like that careless?
Milk. I interviewed Milk. He's a Hoover as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you co-signed him. A lot of people co-signed him. And then you got some people saying he haven't been to the hood in years. He don't come to the hood days. But you went on No Jumper and you spoke highly of him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that somebody you know on a personal tip?
Shit, I don't know Milk personally like that, but Milk, like, he before my time type shit. So I feel like if a nigga is trying to focus and be in his own lane, let that man focus and be in his own lane. He done already been here doing what I'm doing, so it's my time to do it. It's not his time, like, you know what I'm saying? So he's straight in my eyes. He verified by older niggas, right? Okay.
You been
That's all it is. They talk this shit. They be like, oh, we bought this, we bought that. You ain't bought it like that if you got caught like that. Straight up facts, because that's not just a mistake that anybody make. That's not like I left my window down and I went into the mall. That's a crazy life. And then it's the girl too, bro. I watched the DJ Academics interview with him. And the girl was on Gilligan time, like clown time. Like, it had been times where he getting ran up on. He telling her to leave, and she's still trying to stop like 2 or 3 stores from where they just got ran up on that. So yeah, I mean, it's like he let a girl let him lose his life. She's still living, still about to go be with other mans, and he's somewhere dead. Like, that shit is crazy, bro. Like, it's just wild.
I recently seen her post, speaking of her, that he actually saved her life.
We don't know that.
I don't know that, but that's what she said.
We don't know that. Them tables is little in Roscoe's. Them tables is small. It's barely enough for you and you like y'all legs to be under there low key. Like, them tables ain't big. That ain't like IHOP. So where did he push her under? And I'm saying, like, why they ain't released the video footage? They released everybody else video footage of everything else that shit didn't happen. They released Dolph shit a little bit. The other people released Nipsey shit. So why they ain't released they shit? So I don't know what happened. I don't know. I just want to know, why was he over there? You wasn't getting no money. You in the heart of the ghetto. What was you over there for? Them parking lots like that, gangbangers sitting there all day. People, like, that's what people do. We sit in front of the liquor stores. We post it there. That is like the spot. So for you to pull up in there with a $200,000 car, you gonna have everybody like, whoa. Like, you won't catch me like that. Just know that. He should have watched How to Survive in South Central on my channel.
Never sue the other driver after a car accident. There's a better way to get paid a way bigger check without having to go to court.
Yeah, I think that's a question that a lot of people have, is like, why? Even myself, what I'm saying? I think that was like the biggest question. It just really doesn't make sense. I mean, especially if he's living out here, so he should be kind of familiar with the areas. And, you know what I'm saying? From what I've been told, that's probably like the worst Roscoe's that you could actually go to. Out of all the Roscoe's there is, he could have went anywhere else and ate. Not had, and it, you know what I'm saying? Something still could have happened, but you know what I'm saying? Your risk would have been a lot less, man. So,
bro, he could have went on. I think it's closed down on Pico. But he could have went on La Brea and Washington, where they just put the new one at. He would have did better off going to the one in Inglewood, maybe even Long Beach. But don't go to the heart of South Central, where Roscoe's is surrounded by everything that Roscoe's surround. It takes EBT. Like, that's not where you go eat with no $4,000, $5,000, $100,000 worth of jewelry, if it even really costs that much. But you don't go to Roscoe's, that's across the street from a McDonald's, a Tams, a El Pollo Loco, and a liquor store, bro. And you on Manchester Boulevard. You know how many people is going down this street that's from different areas, from different hoods, gangs, and you know how many thirsty people is riding over there? It's just wild, bro. You had a woman. She could have went and cooked it. That shit ain't that good. Y'all could have ordered it, Uber Eat it, DoorDash, Grubhub. I think that's why I be telling you, a lot of these rappers be on dope. They be like, oh no, they ain't on dope. They on dope. They on powder. That's powder activity. That's like people on powder don't care. Like they wild. They don't care. Like they standing in front of the parking lot, chest out with no weapon, and just like, he had me on something, bro. Like I don't want to talk about him because he dead, but I mean, like, what else would make him do that? Nobody in their right mind is going to do that, bro. It's just not happening.
One thing I see a lot now is they got the follow home robberies. Have you checked that out? Have you?
Yeah, I mean, I had seen some shit where they, like, in Hollywood, they had, like, whacked on a little white rapper or some shit. Shot him, like, 8 times or something. Followed him on. Yeah, but you got to be, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these rappers don't really be, like, a lot of them have never really lived a life like that. Like, because I'm very cautious of that shit. I've been cautious of that before YouTube. Like, I'm watching cars. I'm watching who parked in front of houses. Why you think I live how I live? Like, you just can't pull up in front of my house and go to my window. Like, you're just not going to be able to do that. I mean, but yeah, that's wild. People out here slipping. They on lean, weed, posting that. They think they got to post everything on social media. Like, I'm not posting none of that shit. You're not going to know where I live at because I'm not going to post it. You're not going to know what kind of car I'm driving because I would never post that. You can't even post your steering wheel, bro. You can't. If I post my kitchen counters, people will know where I live at because of the counters. So you got to be very cautious about everything. Everything. Just a lot of people be out here playing, bro. They want to have $10,000 and $20,000 worth of jewelry on, but they ain't living like that. Ain't got a gun. Gun ain't ready to go. They ain't paranoid. They ain't watching. They just slipping. Stupid. I mean, anybody could get touched, but I mean, like, these rappers, come on, bro. Y'all getting touched too much to be rappers. Like, this shit is wild.
You think they're making it easy for people to get them?
Yeah, nobody's scared of them either. It's too easy and nobody's scared of them. Like, they on dope too much. Like, they're too high. They not even on the dope that make them go. Like, let me just say, it ain't like if a person snort crystal meth or a person do lean. Like, it's a difference. When a person snort crystal, he ready to go. Like, he fuck around and shoot somebody that was just, it probably was a mistake, but he on go. Versus a person on lean and shit. We know you slow. We know you ain't gonna get to that thing that quick. We know you gonna be like, we know you on dope slow. You can't even move right. So yeah, y'all let us know y'all do dope all day. Serve, that put y'all downers. You on weed, so what? And you post everything on social media. How you?
If one of y'all, all right, let's get to work. All right, so we know the Super Bowl is this weekend. This episode is being filmed on Saturday evening for those who may come in late. So we got the Super Bowl coming tomorrow in Los Angeles against the Rams and the Bengals. And obviously we know when the Super Bowl weekend combined with a badass city, it's a lot of badass things that's going on. And with it being in Los Angeles and everybody being out there and COVID lightening up a little bit and people just being outside and doing their thing, it's a recipe for a lot of wild shit. And we know how Los Angeles does. Well, a Los Angeles OG in Ice-T went on social media, on his Twitter to be exact, and had this to say to rappers who were out partying during the Super Bowl. He said, Super Bowl weekend, not a threat, just a warning. Young rappers coming to LA for the Super Bowl weekend. LA has over 50,000 active gang members. Make sure you play it safe. It's the Wild Wild West. Now, I was reading a lot of the reactions that came after that tweet, and a lot of people are sitting back going, well, I can't believe he's saying that. This is ill taste. This is shut up and listen, young man. Shut up and yes, listen, young lady, young man. Shut the fuck up and listen. Because he's speaking facts. We seen what happened last night with an altercation outside of a Justin Bieber party, for crying out loud, with Kodak Black and others. Kodak Black is currently in a hospital in stable condition because he was shot after a fight ensued and bullets started flying thereafter. We seen what happens with other rappers out in the Los Angeles County area. They do not play fair and they do not care. Play it safe, play it smart. I don't care how cliche it sounds. I don't care how corny it sounds. when you have Super Bowl weekend and that amount of people, it is a recipe for disaster at some points. And hopefully this weekend isn't one of them. I do not want to report about another rapper dying because they were out partying and something happened where somebody looked at them as fresh food and decided to go ahead and eat, man. So take it as a warning from an OG. Don't take it as go to V-Hip.
This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so with this PNB Rock situation in LA, there's been a big conversation started in the hip hop world, right? A lot of people are talking about LA's gang culture and how it affects hip hop artists who visit the city, hip hop artists who come around the city or either try to link in with people or tap in or even check in. And a lot of those things have gained a negative connotation, especially since the death of PNB Rock last week. Now, one person who's been extremely vocal about LA gang politics and LA gang culture and how rappers should view that and actually put out warnings about this in the past is a rapper by the name of Ice-T. Now, for some of you who are really young, you probably only know Ice-T as an actor, man. You probably seen him in New Jack City. You probably seen him in other movies with Denzel Washington and big A-list stars before, you know. And now he's like a mainstay on the Law and Order TV show, right? He's better known for his acting ability, but back in the day, he used to be tapped in. He's from Los Angeles. You know, he was originally born in New Jersey, but I mean, he was raised in the LA Crenshaw area, right? So in the heart of it. So he comments and talks about all the things rappers should worry about. Now, recently, he's taken to social media since this whole PNB Rock thing to foot stomp on a lot of those points. And I wanted to bring that up and discuss it. Now, before we do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about Ice-T a bit. Now, like I said, Ice-T, historic West Coast rapper, you know, really put gangster rap on the map. I mean, he was one of the first people to really start spitting gangster lyrics and incorporating that into his raps, right? You know, trendsetter, guy who really shaped the culture, right? So all props due to him. Now, a lot of people have issue with him going online and talking about rappers getting shot or killed in LA and kind of, you know, they feel like he's rubbing it in the way that he's putting it out there. You know, they feel like he's contradicting himself as well because a lot of people have combated some of the viewpoints that he spewed. And let's really talk about it. Now, this first started to catch people's radar back in February during the Super Bowl weekend when Kodak Black was shot. Remember, Kodak Black got shot in LA as well, and that was recent. And Ice-T took to social media as soon as the story kicked off and dropped this post right here. And in the post, he said this. He said, Super Bowl weekend, not a threat, just a warning. Young rappers coming to LA for the Super Bowl weekend. LA has over 50,000 active gang members. Make sure you play it safe. It's the wild, wild west with a fist emoji, you know, letting it be known that, yo, man, LA ain't safe like that. So don't play like it's safe. Don't come out there just to party and not be on your P's and Q's and staying on point. Now, this time, when he said this back in February, a lot of people took it as, okay, man, an old head just kind of commenting on what the young rappers should do. But really, this should have been a warning to most rappers out there who like visiting LA or even who live in LA like PNB Rock. Just letting them know like, yo, it ain't sweet out there and to watch yourself, man. Make sure you stay on point. Make sure you got your security intact and make sure you keep your circle tight, man. And that would have probably prevented other things from happening. Now, this in no way do I say would have prevented what happened to PNB Rock. You know, what happened to him is a tragedy. Horrible things, like several things combined led up to that incident. One, the social media use. I mean, I'm not blaming anyone in that because PNB Rock, according to some reports, actually put out a post himself as well. So then also his girlfriend put out a post, and then you have the neighborhood that he was in was already super sketchy. You know, it's already ganged out, gangland, bad place to be. You know, there's so many different gangs that surround that restaurant and are at war with each other. It's not a good place to go. We'll say that, right? Now, also, while speaking on the PNB Rock situation, let's talk about where this changed for Ice-T. So Ice-T definitely went to social media to just speak about what he sees as people making mistakes in the hip hop culture and to actually reel in some of the people who are speaking on what's going down with PNB Rock situation or how he lost his life. Now, in this post right here, he said this first. So in this tweet, he said this. He said, people are still hitting me up about my comments about LA gang culture. If you notice, LA rappers don't wear a lot of jewelry. Me, Snoop, Cube, Dre, Game, Kendrick, the list goes on. It's not because we're broke. LA is just a dangerous place, rapper or not. Why test the streets? Now, anybody with some common sense would think, okay, that's a good approach. And when you think about it, you've never really seen Dr. Dre in a big chain, and dude is almost a billionaire for what it's worth, right? As well as some of the other names mentioned. Like Snoop, I've seen him with chains before, but nothing like you see the rappers today with, Same with Ice Cube. He did have a pendant with the West Side Connection on there for a long time. The Game is a different story. Like I said, we'll see with The Game. Like, there was a response somebody did about The Game having chains and stuff like that, which is a contradiction to what Ice-T said here. And Kendrick Lamar, that's just not his style. Him and J. Cole, they kind of dress down all the time. Like, they present themselves as artists, you know what I'm saying? They almost have that starving artist look at all times. And it's a part of their appeal. But with most of the people on this list, he's correct. But The Game has been seen in chains before. And he didn't talk about any of the new rappers from LA because they be diamond chained out, you know what I mean?
Let's talk Cash App.
Street hard rocks in a room. Period. You can't do it. Nobody can do it. They ain't coming to see no basketball games, no athletes, nothing. They're listening to rappers right now. So then the parents will say, why don't you give a positive message? But you got to understand, it's got to be done with code. It's got to be tricky. It's got to be slick. Because as soon as I say, don't do it, I'm you. See, I'm the parent. See, so it's got to be like, well, I'm living, I'm having it. Oh, whoop, what happened? Whoop, I got a bullet in my head. And they're like, oh, wow. And it's a very tricky technique. The street gang situation in Los Angeles is real crazy. I made the record Colors. A lot of people, why are you making that? That's promoting gangs. That's pushing them. It sounds like a pro-gang record if you really listen to it. But I wrote it from the perspective of a gang member. I wrote it from the way they think. And you got to understand, anybody that'll go out and kill like that, they got to believe deep down in their mind what they're doing is right. It's a bent mentality, but they believe there's some justice behind it. They're killing their friend. And there's admirable quality.
In this battle, all I'm saying to the police organizations is that, come get me. Leave Warner alone. It ain't Warner, it's me.
You know why? Because I'm a cop killer!
If you think this album is something, you wait on my next album. You wait on the new album that's coming out, and I'm giving it back to them harder and harder. I cannot stop. This is a mission I'm on.
Jim Moray, CNN Entertainment News, Hollywood.
At the a criminal mode, they've waged a lot of death threats against Warner Brothers Records, people that work at WEA, and they threatened to bomb the record company. This was on Arsenio Hall. They told him that if he had me on the show, that they would not respond to him if he needed help. And this is criminal. I mean, if I tell you that I'm gonna kill you, I mean, these are people that are supposed to protect us, but when we threaten them, they show you exactly who they are. These are some of the most savage people you're ever gonna run into. Officially as today, I'm gonna make the request for Warner Brothers to take the song off the LP so that hopefully these gangsters will stop threatening those people's lives. It is not them, it is me. If you want to kill me, come get me. Why haven't I received a death threat? Because they know that they can't scare me. They know that I'm not afraid of them, and I'm prepared to die behind them. They move on the company and say, never allow any black youth to speak this loud again in America. As of today, I'm going to pull the song off the record just to prove to them that it ain't about money and bring the actual song back to South Central where it came from. I will give this record away free of my concert. I ain't doing it for the money. Now, once we eliminate the issue that they're saying that this is for money, they still got to deal with the question, why did I write this record? See, I'm not apologizing. What I'm doing is dealing with their grief. They've made a big issue about this one song, okay? So really what I'm saying is, songs off the record, shut up. I predict that they attempt to shut down all rap within the next 3 years. Rap is being dissected, they're learning, they're listening, they're hearing what the brothers are saying. It's the only voice we got to send out this power. All we want is to be equal, all we want is fair treatment. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So will body count albums containing the Cop Killer track simply...
And though not all record retailers have returned the rapper's Time Warner release, to one of New York's finest, it didn't matter.
I'm not buying anything from Warner Brothers.
Among the public, the Rolling Stone cover drew mixed reactions.
I approve of the fact that he's dressing as it because he's just not taking it as seriously.
On the one hand, attack this kind of violence. On the other hand, campaign in New Hampshire and elsewhere with Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was himself a cop killer in his most recent movie.
Is it somehow okay to show cops being killed in movies or on TV, but not in a song?
The president is among the many who believe that pop music has some sort of diabolical force over the young people who listen to it, that it turns the people who listen to it into sort of, mindless zombies.
Ray Liotta plays a bad cop terrorizing Kurt Russell's character in the new film Unlawful Entry.
The tide has turned in the overall outlook and feeling of how society views the police officers that are supposed to protect the society.
Ice-T, who
and are therefore more afraid of. A Schwarzenegger movie represents a world that they take their kids to see at the Cineplex. So in the minds of people who are upset about this, they're in two categories. If they thought a little bit harder about it, they might realize that there are all sorts of other examples of violence in the culture that they might speak out against.
George Lewis reports that what the company heard was not music to its ears.
Hey, ho, ho, Time Warner's got to go.
Still not illegal. You dig what I'm saying? Because people get up and they call to kill people all day long. The Klan called it for the kills of the murder of blacks all day long. There's people who want other people killed. It's not illegal to say what you want to do.
In fact, on Monday, the Supreme...
By the lyrics of a rap song. James Hattori in Dallas has our report.
As a self-proclaimed gangster rapper, Ice-T plays to raw emotion and outrageous themes. But today, a group of Texas police officers condemned one of his latest songs, Cop Killer, as an invitation to commit murder. The combined law enforcement associations of Texas today called for a halt to sales of the album. Written before the LA riots, Ice-T says it was a warning to abusive police officers of simmering tension in the black community.
And until these cops realize that we're not just going to continually get our butts kicked in the street and we will retaliate, they're not going to act like human beings.
But will young rap fans see the song as encouragement
or whatever, but you can't stop it. If something's good, it doesn't matter if it says fuck, shit, or beep, or what in it. It's going to be good, and people are going to like it. And that's our whole thing. And as far as the pay-per-play, when we started off, we couldn't play anywhere. That's what people said. But we went out, we rented halls, and we put on shows ourselves, passed out flyers. If you're good, you're going to make an audience, People, the big mistake with this whole thing is everyone's trying to give you a tape and saying we're really good. All we need is someone to hear it. If you're really good, people will hear it, People will be playing it for me and stuff. And it's like, it's unfortunate because everybody's going, I want to be where you're at. Well, first of all, you don't know where the fuck I'm at. Second of all, if you knew where I was at, that's not where you want to be, because basically what people are saying, I want to be a rock star. And if you want to be a rock star, don't try to do what I did, because I did it all wrong.
What does?
From your point of view.
Well, basically, when it's talking about, people say, well, what the suicidal lyrics about is my world. But see, my world is the whole world. And it's a lot of times people put me down for the way I see things, but they were never there when I was a kid, and they never were there when I went through things I did. And before they can put down my world, they better take a walk inside my world. And when they take a walk inside my world, they're going to see things differently. And I'm not telling people to see things the way I do. And I'm not saying, a lot of people say, you got a bad attitude. I don't got a bad attitude. I got the best attitude there is, because I won't quit. Because I'm going on and I'm going to do things. And being on this show don't mean, oops, I was going to say a bad word. It don't mean, it don't mean a lot to me. It does to some other people. And people always, when I say that, people get upset. But it's like, I'm going to be 40, I'm going to be 50 if I make it that far. And there's a lot of things that are a lot more important. And when you see things in the world, and when you see people die and people that get screwed up that you care about, you're telling me it's important that you got like a song that goes #1 on the radio. It don't mean a lot to me,
Well, it's real nice to hear your point of view, and I hope we can have it back here again.
I recognize that he wants to clarify. Please, sir, clarify.
Is there a difference between a CIA paid operative and a CIA paid asset?
No.
Do you know who Walter Pincus is?
I believe he's a reporter for the Washington Post.
Sir, you're not entitled to but one.
Is
You've
he an
already done
asset
two.
of the CIA?
No.
He said no to that question. The gentleman in the white and then the gentleman in the tan hat over here.
My question is to you, Juanita, and that is the following. What is going to happen next? Are we going to be at First Day of Me Church with Julio Butler chairing the meeting? Is that what's going to happen next, Juanita? This man coming into this community at this time, as far as we are concerned, most of us in this audience, is a mandate to close the investigation and to prepare us for him to say 6 months down the line that the CIA didn't do anything. How, and my God, who did you, in your constituency, Juanita, did you consult with to bring this man into our community at this time? What is going to happen next? Anything that happens next is terribly anticlimactic, and you know it. My other question is, does Maxine Waters endorse this meeting? Because I want to tell you right now, I'm a KJLH listening family. I've been supporting everything you've done up until today. I can't understand why you would bring this man into this community and why you would bring him. My name is Matthew Dillon.
We've held, with the Cold War, we've held Russia at bay for 40 years at least. Don't you feel kind of strange that we can't hold a third world country at bay? That they have infiltrated South Central LA. This is a community with really no money, no power, and all of a sudden, these armed, not only drugs, but arms. I was in the police academy. All the police officers here should be upset because all of a sudden we had little guns, like toy guns to play with, and these guys were coming out with things that you know they were having war over there. Forget the drug part. How did the guns get here? Give us some explanations. You, the president, and everybody else should be highly upset and say, how did this cancer get here? How did it happen?
CIA. That is what he's established to do, to look at wrongdoing in the CIA.
Okay, the gentleman in the navy blue jacket, Steve over here, and then the gentleman in the burgundy after that.
How you doing? I'm Chico. I'm Ricky Ross, co-defendant, and you guys wrote a declaration to my judge saying it wasn't no involvement. How could you say there's no involvement and the investigation ain't over? Me and Ricky Ross was waiting to get sentenced Tuesday, and what a judge gonna say to us come Tuesday? And you wrote a letter saying there's no involvement. Now you're up here saying, hey, where else to go to? So I want to know, me, everybody in here, everybody in here, I don't know if it's a political reason or what, but I know me and Ricky Ross Tuesday will be getting sentenced. I don't know what the other people in here doing, but I know why I'm here. And I know what happened to me.
May I just say that the question which was asked of us by the judge was Ricky Ross ever an agent or a contract employee?
Wait just a minute, please. Let him answer the gentleman who has the mic right now.
Well, I was in court. I be in court every time there's a ruling and everything because I'm part of it. And the judge asked the prosecutor to get a written statement from you saying there wasn't no involvement. You guys wrote a letter saying there's no involvement. Then you come up here and say, it's still going on. So come Tuesday, the judge gonna tell me, oh, it was no involvement. You get 20 years, Rick get life. So what are we supposed to do?
If I could I want to just be very clear.
Please allow him to answer so that you can hear his answer. Perhaps you might have a question once his answer has been stated.
I want to be very clear. The judge asked for an affidavit from the Central Intelligence Agency whether any one of 5 individuals by name had ever had any association with the Central Intelligence Agency. Please let me finish. First of all, we answered that question. It's a public available answer. The record of that affidavit is available. Anybody wants to see it. And we found that none of the 5 named individuals had ever had any association with the Central Intelligence Agency. How come we were able to do that? I will tell you how come we were able to do that. Because we keep very close records on the people
Just a minute. I'm going to have to ask that we dismiss those who are unwilling and unable to listen to the others who want questions answered.
Because we keep very close records of those people with which we've ever done business or who we're trying to develop into doing our assets. So in the case of the question from this judge, it was completely and thoroughly answered, and I want to stress that it was answered in the public record.
But on that declaration, it does say, on that declaration, it said, Norwin Manessa was, and you guys knew that he was involved 20 years ago. And the declaration said he was a Nicaraguan mafia. And you guys knew he was selling drugs, but you didn't arrest him. You guys arrested him for 1 kilo and then gonna say me and Rick had 100 kilos and didn't even have no cocaine. And he get 5 years. Rick looking at life. It's my first offense, I'm looking at 20. And he's on his way out. And Blandon is out of jail and you paid him $166,000.
Clinton Bailey, I'm an attorney, I'm also a member of BAPAC. An inspector general was not adequate to investigate a suicide of a White House official. It was not adequate to investigate the White House travel office.
Dr. Deutsch, Hector Carrion, Impacto 2000. Gary Webb, the staff writer for the San Jose Mercury News, he published a search warrant on the internet. This warrant was issued to a special narcotics squad of the Los Angeles County Sheriffs. And it was issued to search the home of a Lassiter, a Mr. Lassiter, who was a former police officer from San Diego. When the sheriffs went to the home and went in, presented a search warrant, there's Mr. Lassiter saying, hold it. You better call CIA headquarters in Washington because they're gonna clear me. You better talk to Special Agent Alexander because I'm working with him, okay? Now, when there are court documents that say that some of the sheriffs had said that the evidence they took from that home were put in the evidence room and that the CIA went to the evidence room and confiscated that evidence and made it disappear. The CIA took that evidence. Where is that evidence and who is this Mr. Alexander, Special Agent Alexander of the CIA, who cleared that Mr. Lassiter, who was dealing with Mr. Blandon?
Mr. Lassiter was never associated with the Central Intelligence Agency. He did not tell the truth.
All right, the gentleman in the pink shirt, and then Cal Berg, and then this gentleman over here. Yeah, you can be next after I've gotten these people here. Please, please. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If you wish to raise a question, I will be coming back across and I'll get those of you, so please sit down, and then as I come back across, raise your hand. I see some of you and I will already point you out as I come back across, please.
This question is for the director. My name is Clinton Bailey.